Good evening. How are we all doing tonight? That's assuming it's evening where you are in the world. It certainly is here in the slowly turning into summer UK. How is everyone doing? Yeah, right. New game. Yeah, last week we finished off Dragon Age. Um, could have done more with it, but not really anything I felt was worth playing through. I've been thinking about what game to play. I was thinking of doing Disco Elysium, but I actually rediscovered some of my old emulators and some games I had, and thought, you know what? Let's just go back even further than Dragon Age and to something that's nearly 30 years old. Yes, we're going to be playing Snatcher, Hideo Kojima's earliest masterpiece. Well, he did work on games before then, but this is probably the first game that would be considered among his best. And it's also what led into a lot of the things that became Metal Gear Solid. Um, Hi, hello there. Yes. Yeah. I'm still got. I said about writing a script for these intros because I'm still trying to get the hang of everything. I've been streaming since November, and it's nearing the end of April now, so you'd think I'd be getting the hang of it. But oh, someone like me. Anyway, yeah, if you are watching but you're not interested in chatting, have just a little command, exclamation mark and lurk. Just tells me that you're interested in watching and not chatting. One comment is all I ask for because that counts towards the channel. If you're watching but don't comment, then Twitch doesn't actually count it, which is slightly annoying. But in some ways, you can kind of get it because if someone's just watching and not chatting, or at least doesn't chat once, it kind of suggests they're not interacting. And that's kind of what Twitch is about, isn't it? Um, yeah, so just one comment, help the channel. I've still got a long way to go before I even get to affiliate. So yeah, early days. Well, sort of. Anyway, should we get into the game? Now, I just got to pick the right screen. There we go. Yes. Okay. Now I'm running this game off of a ROM, and kind of have to these days because disk drives are not the best thing for emulators, if I'm being completely honest. And I'm using the emulator called Kega Fusion. It's not one of the most recent ones, but it's the one that I've used before, and I like how it runs. So anyway, let's get into the game. I've paused it literally right as the emulator's booting, so it's got the entire boot up because I just think there's a nostalgia to that. And I grew up with the old actually Master System was the first console I grew up with. Mega Drive and Mega CD were my teenage years actually, and this was a game I was lucky enough to get hold of a copy of. I actually rented it several times from the same place, and when they decided to stop renting out Mega CD games, I asked what they were going to do with them, and they decided to sell them. And I grabbed a copy of it. I've still got that copy to this day because it's ex-rental. It's in terrible condition, although the disc still runs. Or actually, I haven't used it in several years, but it still ran last time I tried it. Book was falling apart, but the fact that pristine copies of that game are like it's like £700-800 is insane. I mean, that's more than Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is ridiculous. But anyway, as I say, let us get started and yeah, see how far we can get this evening. As I say, I've played the game many times before, so I know this game very, very well. It's just been a long time since I played it. Um, but I'm hoping to find some of the Easter eggs and hidden content in the game. Yeah, yeah. Crazy money for some of the old games. Um, I'm just very glad I managed to get it. It cost me £5 to get it from the rental store. I probably paid for it over with the amount of times I rented it though. So, but yeah, pennies compared to what it's worth now. But anyway, let's get started. Bit of nostalgia for some people, that little piece of music. Still seems weird hearing that. Yeah, definitely a bargain. Now I'm hoping the audio is synced up properly because I've been playing around with render delays. Because one thing I noticed, I love that noise. One of the things I noticed in some of my previous streams is the camera and my microphone was slightly behind the rendering of the game. So I wanted to kind of get things synced up on the stream so that if I say something in time with what's happening in game, the stream has that as well. Because if you don't put a render delay, you can end up with a bit of a desync, and I didn't really want that. So hopefully everything's all in sync there. But yeah, let's start a new game. Gonna watch the entire intro. I can't remember how long it is.
June 6, 1996. A mysterious explosion destroys the Chernobyl research facility near Moscow. Lucifer Alpha, a powerful biological weapon under secret development there, is released into the atmosphere, creating a deadly biohazard. Carried by the trade winds, Lucifer Alpha spreads throughout Eastern Europe and Eurasia, destroying 80% of the populace. Half of the world's people die. The greatest biohazard in history later becomes known simply as the catastrophe. But at this time, who could have possibly imagined that the ultimate biohazard wouldn't occur for another half-century? 50 years later, mankind faces its greatest crisis, the appearance of a mysterious android life form. Its purpose and origin are unknown. Is it a new form of weapon? Or perhaps an invasion from some other world? They appear during winter, killing humans and infiltrating society by taking the place of their victims. Employing an artificial skin, they can sweat and even bleed. Part organic, part machine, they're almost impossible to distinguish from those they kill. As they steal their victims' bodies in order to take their place, these mysterious invaders become known as Snatchers.
Yeah, Kojima's got a penchant for long cutscenes. Now, I'm not skipping this because there's a little cutscene at the end of this that you skip if you do skip the opening credits. But I was always fascinated by this back in the day because there were so few games that did things like this at the time, especially on console. So you can definitely see the Blade Runner influence here, can't you? I wonder if I'm going to get a copyright claim for this music. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Now what's interesting is the voice cast for this game is largely unknown. There are quite a few names in here that don't pop up anywhere else. Jeff Luperton is about the most well-known one, I think. He did mostly advertising. And Lin Fusan are there. Her name doesn't pop up anywhere else aside from this game. Nobody knows who she was. I could be wrong about that because I haven't looked up in recent years. Yeah, this came out in '94. For the amount of voice acting this game had, it's actually surprising how good it is, considering how bad voice acting could get. I mean, we all remember the original Resident Evil, don't we? This is so much better than that, but it's still not great by today's standards. So, right the way down nostalgia alley for me here. Now here's this cutscene I mentioned.
How was work? Everything okay?
Gillian, what is it? What's wrong?
Jamie, I've become a junker.
A junker? Gillian, but why?
Jamie, you know why. It's the only way we can regain our lost memories. Snatcher is the only word that keeps coming back every time we try to remember our past. I have to face them to find out why.
Yes, but I can sense that there is something terrible hidden in our past. And if we remember it, it will destroy us.
Jamie! I'm going now. Jamie!
What? I can't hear you.
Gillian Seed, estimated age 31. 3 years ago, he and his wife Jamie Seed are taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. Both Gillian and Jamie suffer from severe amnesia. Their memories of events prior to being picked up in Siberia lost in a mysterious mental fog. 2 years ago, after a vain attempt to rebuild their marriage, Jamie and Gillian separate. Following extensive special military training, Gillian is ordered to report to Neo-Kobe City as a junker, effective today.
Now that cutscene was unique to this version. I don't think the Japanese versions of the game ever had that. I think there was a manga booklet that came with some of the versions that had a version of it. But yeah, they actually turned it into a full cutscene for this one. Okay, so yeah, the gameplay for this, if you're not familiar, is a menu-based graphical adventure game. Lots of text. So yeah, the bit that appeared just before, you've got the receptionist asking who the heck we are. So yeah, what she did. There's so many options for what you can do. Looking at the poster. Junker recruitment ad. They didn't change the text from Japanese. Well, it is set in Japan, so yeah, it's a it's an artificial city that was created in the Bay of Kobe. That's called Neo Kobe. Can't remember when the history said it was created, but I think it was built as it's effectively a refugee area. Oh, spitting everywhere. Yeah, it was a refugee area after the catastrophe happened. Yeah, loads of refugees were coming out of lots of areas from like Russia and that sort of area, and Japan took a lot of them in. Neo Kobe was a city that basically built up around that. At least that's the history within the game. I kind of realised as the intro to this was happening that there's certain political references in there that may be a little little triggering for some people at the moment. But yeah, on with the game. Yeah, Junker recruitment ad. Let's let's get the story moving on, shall we? Let's look at the operator. Beautiful Oriental woman. Okay. See if I can enter. Only authorized personnel known beyond this point. Ah, yeah, we have the option to talk.
I'm Gillian Seed. I've been assigned to Junker headquarters effective today.
Oh, you're Mr. Seed. Please forgive me. My name is Mika Slayton. I'm the administrative assistant and operator here at Junker headquarters. Very pleased to meet you.
Yeah, the acting's nowhere near as good as I remember it. So, let's Yep, he's already said that. He just told me that. Right, so oh yeah, I remember now. There's loads of asking questions to be able to move on with the game. So yeah, I'm going to be reading out quite a bit here. So, ask about the Junkers. You tell me a little bit about Junker operations. Okay, Junkers are a special task force put together to combat the Bioroid Snatcher menace. Overseen by the government intelligence agencies. Right. Ask about Neo Kobe. First time in town. Oh, you get used to it right away. Everybody's pretty welcome. I seem to recall certain moments in this game where that's not entirely true, but then again, I think you can say that anyway. Many different ethnic groups and types of people here. It's Japan, but it's not Japan, if you know what I mean. Ah yes, and this I don't know if this was the first game that had it, but we all know Kojima is a bit of a perv, and this game basically allows you to hit on any of the women he runs into, sometimes for hilarious effect. So yeah, have him ask about Mika. Tell me a bit about yourself. Isn't that a bit forward? Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, he's a wannabe womanizer, isn't he? Yeah, pretty smooth with the ladies. Right, so let's skip on and make our way into the what do we call it? The offices.
Mr. Seed?
Gillian's fine. You can call me Gillian, Mika.
Okay, Gillian. I'll open the main door and show you around headquarters.
Ominous footsteps. Oh god, those 90s sound effects are wonderful, aren't they? Okay, so yeah, I know how this goes, so it doesn't matter what option I pick. We're going to go to the chief's office, but if I pick anything other than the chief's office, get a short little cutscene.
Oh, that's right. The chief told me to bring you down as soon as you showed up.
The chief?
Yes, our big boss here at Junker headquarters. That's his office right over there. Chief Cunningham, Gillian Seed is here. I brought him in as you requested.
Thanks for coming, Seed. I'm Benson Cunningham, the Chief of Junker Operations.
Gillian Seed. I've been transferred here from the 17th Special Forces Division.
I've heard all about your special training in the military, Seed. I hope you'll put it to good use on your new assignment here. By the way, I understand you're suffering from amnesia. Any sign yet that your memory's coming back?
I'm afraid not. I still can't remember a thing from before the Army picked me up 3 years ago.
You're married, aren't you?
Yes, but we're separated now. She has amnesia as well, and without any memories between the two of us, I'm afraid there was very little to base a good relationship on.
I can see your point there.
Yeah, that conversation always seemed a bit weird to me. Didn't feel like the sort of thing that sort of questions you'd ask somebody. But then again, it was translated back in the early 90s, and that was the early days of translation. So I think we all remember Zero Wing and All Your Base Belong to Us. Yeah, that was the era that produced that. So to have a conversation that's even that good, I'm quite pleased they managed it, especially considering how much conversation there is in this game. So, yes, so what should we do here? I mean, as I say, I know what where we go in the game and how to play through it. Even though it's been so many years, I can still remember what I'm supposed to do in most places. So let's have a look around. Have a look at the chief. He's the chief of Junker Operations, just as I imagined him. Did you say something? Have a look at the monitor. Information from all over the world is continuously pouring in. Look out the window. It's a nice view from up here. See, we have the Snatchers lurking out there somewhere. Interesting how Snatchers is always in block capitals. Newcomer at night, great view. Good picture. Picture of a vase, eh? Funny design. Definitely stands out, doesn't it? The sofa. Looks pretty comfy. Yeah, investigate is literally to investigate things, so that's where you're telling him to literally go up to something and investigate it in detail. So yeah, let's ask. Alright, ask about the Junkers. Junker headquarters was set up a year ago by the police as a special task force to combat Snatchers. Junker operations were officially started in August of this year. I believe it's coming up to Christmas at this point, so I believe it's in early December. That's the time frame we've got here. We answer directly to government agencies. This poster is pretty tacky. Oh yeah, the poster at the front desk. Oh, that's my design, by the way. I don't remember that. I don't remember him saying that at all. You can go, your taste is right out the dark ages. Yeah, because I think the chief is meant to be in his mid to late 50s. So being that this is... Oh, God, I forgot what year this is set in. Oh, it's 50 years after 1996, so it's 2046. Yeah, so for him to be in his mid-50s, he'd actually be younger than me. Because in 46, I'll be in my mid-60s. Yeah, so he's a child of the 90s, basically. Right. Yeah, let's just work down the list. Junker Authority. Junker operates with certain rules and privileges different from regular police officers. Those are: 1. Purpose of Junker. The Junker forces to eliminate Bioroid Snatchers. Junker, even in the course of carrying out 1, must not harm innocent civilians. 3. A subject may not be physically investigated or restrained unless irrefutable evidence exists that indicates the subject is indeed a Snatcher. That could be problematic, couldn't it? 4. A Junker is required to assist and support civilian bounty hunters. Okay. In order to carry out 1, Junker is allowed the use of a blaster and a navigator and a turbocycle. Turbocycle being the vehicle that Gillian came in on. Based on the... I can't remember what they were called in Blade Runner, but basically they had the same thing because the design was based on the ones from Blade Runner. But I can't remember what the Blade Runner ones were called. Sky cars of some kind. Those are the 5 rules. Right. Right, that's authority. Duties. I think I've got to go down to that one to be able to move on, so let's make our way through. Junker's job is to figure out who Snatchers are and eliminate them. Want to put your special training in the military to good use and investigate those points about Snatchers we don't yet understand. We've got to put a stop to them. We have to put a stop to them. Okay, the staff. So, Junker's job is highly specialised and extremely dangerous. That's why there are so few of us. He's the chief. Harry is the engineer. There's Mika. Gibson and Gillian are the runners. It's just the 5 of them. Okay, let's ask about the Snatchers. Okay, 3 years ago, Snatchers suddenly appeared here in near Kobe. We have no idea where they come from or what they want. We do know that they kill, copy the appearance of their victims and take their place in society, and that their numbers are increasing.
That should be enough to make your duties as a junker quite clear. This is your junker ID card. It will identify you as a junker. Carrying it allows you to exercise your special authority.
I see. Sort of like a police officer's badge, huh?
And here's some money. It's not much, but you'll need it to carry out your investigation.
Cash?
Credit cards aren't accepted in some regions of the city. You'll need this sooner or later.
Sounds like it's a rough place out there.
Go see Harry, the engineer. He's got your equipment ready for you.
So just moving the window on my screen so it's a little bit low. There's a bit of audio breaking up in it. It's one of the problems of using emulators. There might be a better one through RetroArch. I'll have to have a look. If I do that, then I'll definitely play through this entirely on the current emulator. Not to William Gibson. Possibly. I don't know. There might be a reference to it later on in the game. Yes, I have to see if there's a Mega Drive emulator on RetroArch that is usable. Right, let's ask about the navigators, because that's one thing the Chief didn't mention. It's a robot designed to assist junkers by performing all types of analysis. It's got pretty good sensor setup too. Okay, and I now have possessions. So, investigate, junker badge. The special IC chip built in. All of my personal data is recorded on this card. That card is very important. Take great care not to lose it. Okay. Yeah. Right, what should we do now? I think that's all we can ask about there. So, investigate cash. Cold hard cash. Should be plenty to get the job done. Right. So let's move on. So where do we want to go next? Right. Well, I know that Harry is in engineering, so let's go talk to Harry. Engineering, or the junkers, that is the runner's equipment, is made here. Doesn't look like Harry's around at the moment. Yes. Look at the first option. So the option to look, first option is Mika's face. You're getting a theme here. Let's have a look at the area. Tools, machines all over the place. It's a regular factory in here. It always looks like this. I don't know how he finds anything. Okay, right, let's move on. So, where do we want to go next? Let's just work our way down the list, shall we? Detective's room. Detective's room is the office where our runners, that's what we call junk investigators like you, you'll be using that desk in the back. What about the desk near the door? That's Jean's desk. Jean-Jacques Gibson. He's our ace runner. Well, considering that there's only Jean and Gillian, then again, I think there is some historical data in the game where Jean-Jacques is the longest running junker in the operations. All the other people who've become junkers have either quit the job or died. Yeah, so it's quite a dangerous job, unsurprisingly. Yeah, the inspiration that Kojima had for the story for this game was a mixture of Blade Runner, Terminator, Total Recall, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So you got 4 great sci-fi classics there, all melded into one. Into what was a very good game. Actually, what still is a very good game. But even so, Jean's got an 18-year-old daughter. And actually, that's one of the key differences between this version and the Japanese versions, because in the Japanese version, she was 14, not 18. There's some obvious reasons why that was changed. Yeah. there are some scenes later on in the game that would get very, very awkward if the character was still that age for the Western market, so it's probably a good thing they changed it. You see? Yeah, Gillian is he's a wannabe womanizer, and an emphasis on wannabe, because if you do try and hit on the women in the game, the outcomes are... Her name's Katrina. Right. And look at that. You can ask about... Actually, let's ask about Harry, see what Mika's got to say about him. Harry Benson is our engineer. He's a bit of a lush, but he's a friendly and sweet old guy. Not much to say there. Let's go about Gibson. His wife was killed by Snatcher 2 years ago. After that, he quit his detective job and became a junker. Motivated. Since then, he's been living with his daughter. Okay, what the hell? Let's just ask about her. She's John's only child, just turned 18. Not much there. Not much there at all. Okay, let us move on to... That was the text room and the computer room. More great 90s sound effects. It's linked to databases throughout the country, so you can find almost any information you might need. Okay, let's ask about the computer. So host computer, model RM1013. I don't know whether that's a reference to something. Could be. We call it Jordan for short. Junker Online Regional Data Access Network. That's an acronym they didn't start with the finished word, did they? Employs full-scale artificial intelligence-based processors. Fully programmed with human learning routines and uses an intelligent interface to perform automatic translation, problem solving, you name it. Employs expert-class artificial intelligence routines developed for fieldwork robots. It's the best there is. Okay, let's ask how to use it. Put the Junker ID card in the slot. Once it's confirmed you're a user, just follow the instructions. Let's have a go. Right. To register on the system, the rest is easy. Please insert ID card. This thing has a personality. Right. Right, okay. So yeah, there's loads of stuff you can actually do in this. Oh, what can we... Here's a thought. Input the first name, then last name without a space. Right. Right, so enter name. Let's do the obvious one. Hideo Kojima actually has personal information there. Third generation family man, nickname Ojima. Favourite game, Zabaka. I've actually heard of that game. I've probably seen this, probably about 20 years ago. Snatcher has crossed the sea. Hope you enjoyed, all enjoy it a lot. A hidden little message from Kojima himself. Right. So, you know what, let's look up some of the other people here. Oh. Controller not being quite responsive. Oh. Actually has a picture there as well. Yeah, because of how few names they put into the game. There's yeah, because of how few names there were going to be in the game, it's quite limited on what you can actually search. But there's quite a few Easter eggs in there. If you go searching around like the game, there's names all over the place that you can put in there and get some additional information, which I did do a lot of back in the day and found some interesting things. So, John Jack Gibson, runner, age 55. Yeah. Wife Alice deceased, daughter Katrina. Officer in Police Science Division since 2015. Wife killed in the Bayreuth Panic of 2046. Request is granted to transfer to Junker Agency. And because people are going to always do this one, aren't they? Because you think, how many people in the city would be named Katrina? Again, another picture. Won Miss 17 contest in 2046. Currently a popular model in holographic advertisements. That's a detail, again, from the Japanese version. Suspicious that information would be in there, isn't it? Is it because they're being pervy, or is it because it has relevance later on? I'd say both. Who else should we look up? You know what? She's standing right behind me. Let's look her up. Age 23. Graduated from Kobe City University with dual major in criminal psychology and municipal data management. Has handled numerous unusual cases at the lab and solved them by using the dangerous technique of attaining complete simpatico with the criminals. But psychological stress from the job led to her to resign. So it raises the question of why the heck is she a receptionist? Recommendation from Junker Chief led to her joining the agency. In theory, she could be a field agent, but she's working as the front desk receptionist. You know what? Yeah, that'll do. No matching names on file. Okay. Right. Let's move on with the story, shall we? Hope the tale is able to be of service. Maybe. Look forward to our next session together. Maybe. Right, let's head on to the shooting range, I think is the last one. Shooting range, where you can improve your marksmanship. Ask how to practice. How do you start practice? Just follow the Junker's Eye practice system. Okay. Haven't got your blaster yet, have you? Hurry, go visit Harry. I think I should get some practice in first. Yes, but come on, let me take a crack at it. If you must practice, use my ray gun. Doesn't have the power of a blaster, but okay. Right, this is where I find out whether the controller's going to work for this game. It's not a fast reaction game, but yeah, let's see. Okay, A button to draw and C to fire. Okay. You put the blaster away again by pressing the A button again. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but shoot only the Snatchers. Be careful you don't hit any civilians. Red gauge on the left shows the number of targets to appear, and the yellow gauge on the right shows the number of hits. So on the introductory level. Perfect score on the first try. That's basically the way the combat works in the game. You get the same sort of setup with things appearing in the different sections. There is a bit right towards the end of the game that is very frantic. I was only ever able to complete it by having rapid fire switched on and just pointing in directions because it was so quick. May have to use save states to be able to beat that, but that's towards the end of the game. So yeah, that's perfect score right off the bat. You've done this before. No, first time out. Can't stand liars. Due to all the practice had in the military. No wasted shots either. John's going to be surprised. Hmm. Okay, yeah, she's insisting we go see Harry, because we've been everywhere else. Right. He's got to be back by now. Yeah, should be.
Oh, good. Harry's back.
Great to meet you. You're Gillian Seed, right? Haven't we met somewhere before?
No, I don't believe so.
Really? I guess I must be imagining things.
Right, so... Actually, let's just have a look at Harry. Somehow I get the same impression. Have I met this guy somewhere? Do I have something hanging from my nose? Okay. Ooh, there's a poster and a photograph. I can see the poster, but I think the photograph must be just next to it, just to the left. Really quite low resolution, but then again, everything was back in those days. Okay. Let's ask, yeah, make a start. Ask about navigators.
I know. All right, allow me to introduce the Navigator, which I designed especially for you. Hey, Metal Gear, get out here. Metal, introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, Gillian. I am Metal Gear Mach 2. I am programmed to be your personal assistant.
Metal Gear? That's a pretty weird name.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you.
I think he's turning red. I took his basic design and his name from the Metal Gear menace of the late 20th century. But quite unlike that Metal Gear, this one was designed for peaceful purposes.
Which technically means that this game is set in the same universe as the Metal Gear Solid series. Yeah, I think the actual design of Metal Gear here is actually the same as the Metal Gear robots from the Metal Gear Solid games. So, yeah, Kojima was continuing the same themes throughout all his games. And I've been playing Death Stranding recently, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are going to be Metal Gears appearing in that in some way, shape or form. Right, so we've asked about Metal Gear. Let's ask him again. Okay, designed from the start to be a Junker's investigative assistant. On-site detection analysis, recording, communications, you name it, they're packed with features. Metal Gear here is the latest model. I don't quite know why the actress did that little emphasis on the Mark II bit in the audio, in the dialogue. That seemed a little bit odd to me back in the day, and it still seems odd now. But I don't know if that's the way she decided to do it, or if that was how she was directed to do it. But what about attack systems? They have weapons. No, they're not. The main idea behind a navigator is to assist in an investigation's data management. And game-breaking meta comments. So you can save the game and use Metal Gear is how you use the video phone, which is the massive block on the right shoulder of it. I think the reason for that is because the thought process back in the day was we'd still be using CRT screens. There wasn't anything better back in the day. I think even in the early 90s, LCD screens were in their infancy. Now they're the standard. Like OLEDs and quantum dot, and there's probably going to be something new coming along soon anyway. So we can use the use light function. Yes, because they have a torch, because for some reason the character doesn't carry a torch himself. Communications. Yep, video phone. In theory you can use it anywhere, but you have to watch out for interference, which is another reference to things later on in the game. Sometimes the signal just can't get through. Right, let's find out about the blaster.
Oh, that's right. Don't panic yourself. I got it right over here. This is your blaster, the official weapon of a junker. It's got full user feedback circuitry, adjusting itself to your reaction time. In other words, it's just as good as you are. What do you think? Here, see how she feels.
It's unbelievably light.
You bet it is. This ain't one of those ray guns the Army uses. She's put together with the latest carbon polymers and ceramics, not affected by heat one bit. And her ergonomic design optimizes both functionality and firepower. Well, what do you think, Gillian?
I'll take it.
I always loved that bit of artwork of Gillian holding the gun there. It always seemed like too cool for something that somebody would actually do. Right, last thing to ask about is the Snatchers. See what Harry has to say about that. Engineer, how about this, how they built? Never been able to get a specimen. They're always stolen or have self-destructed. Any weaknesses? Built really well, so it's tough to outright destroy them. They've got these slits on their head for some reason. A well-placed headshot there will often destroy their control functions. That's why it's so important to practice your marksmanship. Good thing the marksmanship is only based on a 9-way grid system, because otherwise this could be tricky.
I have a video phone call from Jean-Jacques Gibson coming in. Connecting.
Junker HQ, this is Gibson. I've cornered a probable male snatcher. I'm in the abandoned factory in the M district. Request immediate backup.
Gillian, that means you. You better head out right away. Jean needs your help.
We must hurry. We'll use a turbocycle to travel to the scene.
Be careful, Gillian.
This is a turbocycle, specially designed for junker use. In addition to three-wheeled ground travel, it is capable of hovering and high-speed flight. The vehicle is also VTOL capable, so takeoffs and landings in narrow areas present no difficulty.
A flying tricycle, huh? I just came in one of these things.
We have been assigned this vehicle for use in our investigations.
Okay. So this is the first time you can actually use the menu for Metal Gear. So, but yeah, let's get a move on. In the turbocycle, operation is computer controlled. Where would you like to go? Gillian's home. Okay, so yeah, let's head to the factory.
Now departing for the abandoned factory.
Could it be any more 90s? I doubt it.
My first day on the job, and now this. Ace Junker Gibson has cornered a suspected snatcher. I wonder if this guy really is a snatcher. Guess I'll find out now if all that training really paid off.
Okay, we have arrived at the factory. Could they have made this any more ominous? Any more ominous? Hey, we've arrived at the manufactory. This is where Jean called from. First option, enter turbocycle. Nope, we're noping out of here. Right, let's have a look. It's a battered old factory. Judging from its design, so it dates from the period when manned production techniques were still in use. Here's abandoned. The sky. The sky's been quite dark. Looks like a storm's coming in. And the area. This place is quite run down. Looks deserted. Okay. Let's investigate the building. Heavily damaged. Probably been abandoned since the last century. The area. No sign that anybody's around. Motion detector. Can't tell from here, we'll have to move inside. An eerie atmosphere about it. Oh yeah, you've got to check some of these things multiple times. Let's investigate the building again. Nothing unusual.
Oh no!
What was that?
A male scream. Perhaps something has happened to Jean-Jacques. Gillian, please use extreme caution. I read multiple moving objects within the factory. This could indicate the presence of Snatchers or Insectors.
Insectors? What in the world's that?
A spider-like robot used by Snatchers as security devices. Though compact in size, they are armed with needle guns. Use extreme caution.
Evening Swampy. Yeah, this isn't actually a LucasArts game. This is Snatcher, which is one of Hideo Kojima's earlier games, back from the original version was in '88, and this version on the Mega CD came out in '94. It's one of the only games of its kind that came out in the West back in those days. But yeah, it's very similar to some of the LucasArts games, just more menu-based than point and click. Hi Tom. Yeah, this is Snatcher, Hideo Kojima's earlier game. Yeah, story inspired from Blade Runner, Total Recall, Terminator, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So quite an amalgamation there. Yes, that is a Tom you know. Little Tom from Saturdays. So I think Tom probably recognises the name there. Right, yeah, we've yeah, just a little bit of history for the game for you guys if you're interested. This is set in the late 2040s. In 1996, there was an explosion in Russia and a biological weapon spread out, killing half the world's population. Now, in, let's say, the old 2040s, there are these things, these cyborgs that are taking over people, taking people's place, the Invasion of the Body Snatcher kind of thing. They don't know where these things are coming from, what they want. All they know is they're very dangerous and they are replacing people in society. The character we play is Gillian Seed. He was found some years ago with amnesia, along with his wife, who also had amnesia. And going through some training, they realised he had military training from before that he was remembering some bits of, and now he's investigating these snatchers in a city called Neo Kobe, which is an artificial city that was built in the Bay of Kobe. Yeah, we arrived at the Junker HQ, Junkers being the people who go after the Snatchers, and we've been called out to this factory to investigate. The other runner that they have, the other Junker they have, is Jean-Jacques Gibson, and yeah, we just heard a scream, and now we need to investigate further. So yeah, let's move on. Right, again, keep your blaster ready. Push the A button to draw it. Anything could happen here. You might want to save frequently, just in case disaster strikes. I have save states. Error saving state. Why is that? Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to save state. Let's see. Error saving state. Take off and nuke the place from orbit. Anyway, to be sure. Interesting. Save states are not working. I might have to save the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Event at the factory. Okay, that's the spot where he made the video call. Yes. Okay. Right, let's see if it'll actually save. Oh, wrong option. Oh yeah, this is an interesting point. Can't use video phone. Probably due to the presence of Snow 9. Bioengineered form of pollen which interferes with radio transmissions. Right, let's save everything. Save. Save complete. Yes, I want to continue playing. Right. Okay, so I'll have to find out why save states aren't working for some reason. So, let's see. Yeah, Gonna be heading all the way into the belly of the beast here, so look at the ground. There's debris everywhere, watch your step. Pipes running everywhere. All the pipes. It's been weakened by rust in several places. Ceiling looks quite weak. And the other one was the area, I think. Building is severely damaged, it should be demolished. Let's investigate the ground. Scan the area with sensors, can't pick up anything special. Investigate the wall. Looks like concrete here is quite corroded. Ceiling. Places that could collapse at any moment. We must be careful. Investigate the area. Nothing special here. Where is Jean-Jacques anyway? Investigate the pipe. Right. Okay, the pipes are hot. Gonna have a blister. And the last one, motion detector. You picking anything up? Nothing's moving? It's odd. What happened to Jean? Yes. Let's have a listen. Uncomfortably quiet. Yeah, aside from the ominous music. Let's move up. I'll turn my volume down a little bit, it's kind of loud. Ooh.
What the?
It's Little John.
Little John?
Yes, Jean-Jacques Gibson's personal navigator.
Let's have a look at Little John. Been demolished. Nowhere to repair damage this bad. Okay, let's investigate Little John then. Charting indicates he was hit by fire from a laser cannon. Nearly all his circuits are burned completely through. Functions have been terminated. Okay, memory may be all or partially intact. Where's Gibson? The navigator never leaves his runner's side unless there's a very serious reason. We have to hurry. Gibson's in trouble. Okay, before we do that, let's have a look at the memory chip.
Well, what do you think? Can you get this memory chip out of there in one piece?
I will attempt it. Now retrieving memory chip. Memory chip retrieved.
Okay, now that's going to be useful. So, let's have another listen. Can't confirm any sounds except water drops and Little John's shorting out. Right, let us move up a little further. So those pillars, nothing unusual. Still nothing. Investigate the area. We're the only ones here. Uncomfortably quiet. Let's move up. There's a figure on the floor. Ooh. Okay, now I know what happens next, and all I'm going to say is, for the later versions of this game, which were the Saturn and PlayStation, this was censored. So let's look at the body.
Dear God.
Yep, it's Gibson. His head has been twisted completely off. In the PlayStation Saturn versions, you get a view of the head between his feet, and then the camera pans upwards to see the severed neck, so you don't actually see the severed head for very long. But for this one, and all the versions before, it's all there. Back in the day when I played this was probably the second goriest game I'd ever played. The goriest being, obviously, Mortal Kombat. And I thought it was glorious. It's also I think this was the first game I ever played that actually had an 18 certificate. It wasn't like the BBFC 18, it was what was it called? ELSPA, I think? That temporary short-lived one that were rating games. Never legally enforced, obviously, because they weren't an organisation like the BBFC. But yeah, this game justifies its 18. At least back in the day it did. Right. Let's have a look at the corpse. Jeez, I wish I didn't have to meet him like this. Can't believe they killed him. Well, it's kind of what they do. Investigate. His body. He's still warm. The scream we heard was now down him. What killed him? Something ripping his head off, I think. He died instantly. It would take incredible strength to do this. Okay. Let's investigate his clothing. Ah, there's a key in his pocket. And there's a little note with search the house. There's a really good reference to this in Fallout 3. There's a postal office building that you can find where you find a body that is in that pose that's noted as being Gibson. And you find a key and a note that says search the house. And in another part of the game, you find a house which is called Gibson's house. And there's further references to this game in there as well, which I thought was a great thing for Bethesda to do back in the day. I say back in the day. How long ago was Fallout 3? Some years. Anyway, let's have a look at have a look at the key. What's this key for? Don't know of anywhere where old keys like this are still in use. Let's have a look at a scrap of paper. It's written on ordinary paper. Okay. Look at the key. Item's quite antique. Right, hang on to that as evidence. And scrap of paper. Search the house. What is that supposed to mean? Who knows? Could be his last words. I doubt it. Who would write down their last words when their head's being ripped off? Keep hold of it as evidence. Right. Okay, let's investigate him again. Holding something in his right hand. Check his right hand. There's hair. Several strands of hair. And there's skin tissue under his nails. Right, okay.
Now analyzing recovered tissue sample. Analysis complete. Results on the display. 1. Enzyme antibody analysis indicates subject is blood type O, Rh factor negative. 2. Chromosomal analysis of cells in the sample reveal 46XX. Subject is female. 3. Cell component distribution indicates presence of artificial protein compounds. 4. Number of melanocytes in sample indicates that subject is Caucasian. The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the tissue sample, a cluster of skin cells, was scraped from the subject during the struggle with Sean. These skin cells almost certainly came from a female European, blood type O negative snatcher.
Okay, that's a good bit of information. Let's have a look at the hair.
Now analyzing recovered hair sample. Analysis complete. Results on the display. 1. Chromosomal analysis of cells from the papilla and root reveal 46XY. Subject is male. 2. Hair color, brown. Hair structure reading of 65 indicates European subject, wavy hair. 3. Attachment of root structure and thickness of the base of the strand suggest hair was pulled out of a follicle. 4. Enzyme antibody analysis indicates subject is blood type A, Rh factor negative. 5. Cell component distribution indicates presence of artificial protein compounds. The results of the analysis strongly suggest that the strand of hair was pulled from the scalp of Jean's attacker during their struggle. This strand of hair almost certainly came from a male European, blood type A negative snatcher.
Okay. Gibson said he'd cornered a probable male snatcher. Didn't say anything about any others in the video call. Okay, let's investigate him again.
An analysis of Jean's stomach reveals a major lesion on the caloric region of the gastric membrane.
So, John had an ulcer, huh?
Yes. In addition, I read a substantial quantity of partially digested organic compounds.
Organic compounds. If you can determine the composition and the degree to which the food's been digested, we may be able to figure out where Sean's been.
That sounds delightful, doesn't it? Organic compounds. Hmm.
Now making incision in Jean's stomach to analyze organic compounds present. Analysis complete. Results on the display. Results of the analysis indicate the organic compounds are primarily composed proteins that have been exposed to digestive acids for approximately 3 hours. Amino acid structure of the protein suggests the meat is that of a buffalo.
Buffalo meat?
Yes, buffalo meat. The results indicate that Jean ate buffalo meat somewhere about 3 hours before he was killed. I'm reading movement.
Something just ran across that doorway. Yeah, I saw it.
Snatchers?
Unable to confirm. I suggest we investigate.
Right. Let's move up. Dead end. Where did they go? Yes, where did they go? Blocked by caving. Can't go any further. Don't see any way on from here. Don't understand. No way we could possibly move out. Way. Where did they go? Yes, mystery. No other way out, unless they liquefied themselves. They must have gotten out some other way. Where did they go? It's fine until a moment ago. Sensor defect. Picking up a sound off in the distance. Can you actually hear that? Because I can just about hear it. It looks like it is being picked up. Let me know if you can hear that beeping. My ears are going up on me. Changing air pressure. That's you can't hear any beeping. Right. Yeah, there was a little there was a little thing in the game. Let's actually right. Can you hear it now? You should be able to, because I can definitely see it being picked up. Yeah, I'm going to turn it back down again because I remember the thing that they did in the game. Yeah, literally every time I'm hearing the beep, I'm only seeing a tiny little blip in the audio on OBS there. So yeah, the game has actually dropped the audio at this point, so everything's quieter. I can hear something. Can't hear anything. Right there, can you hear it? So yeah, let's head back. Can't hear a thing. Head back again. Something sounds like a timer. It says turn up the volume on the TV in order to hear it better. Yeah, I'm not leaving the volume up because I know why. Picking up something from the direction of Little John. Thought his functions were dead. Okay, let's have a look at Little John.
Whoa!
A time bomb?
Evacuate immediately! There is little time!
We should save. Yeah, probably a good idea, especially considering the save states aren't working. Yes, overwrite it. Oh yeah, I've heard about Kung Fury. Have you seen the game for it as well? I can't remember how much the game is. It's not much. It doesn't cost much. But yeah. Oh, Fung Fury. I haven't heard of Fung Fury. I know Kung Fury. That's a short film that was done in relation with a game, but not Fung Fury. Interesting. Might have to... Mel, look that one up. See if Feng Fury is a thing. So... Oh, Kung Fury. Yeah, that is the one. There is a game based around that. It's ridiculously silly. The game might not appeal to you though, Swampy. I'll admit that. It's an action-based combat game, kind of like Streets of Rage, but simpler. But yeah, utterly stupid. Utterly stupid. So, do I want to continue playing? Yes, I do want to continue playing. Right. So, we've just saved. Let's retreat back. As I say, the audio is quieter. Right. Oh, I got shot. There's rather a lot of these. Motion readings has vanished. Yeah, good point. You're right, they hit me once, but I'll survive. Okay, activating first aid system. There's a bomb nearby. Blood flow stopped. Disinfecting complete. Now injecting Junker's blood fluid supplement and painkillers. Finding some nanomachines. Healing agents. That should be for the time being. Gotta be more careful. Okay, let's get out of here.
We're getting out of here.
Sorry, I cannot go with you.
What's wrong with you? Hurry it up.
I am incapable of locomotion.
What on earth are you blabbering about? Let's go. It's gonna blow.
Please save yourself. I am paralyzed with fear.
Oh, I can't believe this stupid robot. Come on.
And that's why the game wanted you to raise your volume.
Jeez, my ears are really ringing.
That's because you left the volume turned up.
Damn snatchers.
There is no need for concern. I have stored all the information about the evidence and the area in my memory. We should return to Junker headquarters. We've returned to Junker headquarters.
Ooh, that was some first day.
Now entering the building. We've entered the lobby.
Gillian, I heard about Jean.
I'm sorry. I wish I could have done more.
You performed your duties quite satisfactorily.
That's right. It's not your fault, Gillian. Don't worry about it. By the way, the chief is waiting for you.
This is the chief's office.
Well, Seed, that was a pretty rough first assignment to draw. You made a great effort, though. I've studied the data transmitted back by Metal Gear, so I know all about what happened out there. It's too bad about Gibson. He was a great junker. Seed, I need you to take over for him. You're the only one I've got left who can battle this Snatcher menace.
Right, I'm actually thinking I might take my break at this point, just pause the emulation. Yeah, I will be back in about 10 minutes, so yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, don't go anywhere. Otherwise, I shall see you soon. Oh, gotta accept my... Oh, what's that? I keep forgetting to do some of these things. So yeah, that's my holding screen. Yeah, I will be back in about 10 minutes, so don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back. If you're here just to watch rather than chat, there's the lurk command, exclamation mark and lurk, just lets me know you're here to watch and not chat. Yeah, we are here playing Snatcher, Hideo Kojima's earlier masterpiece. Back from '94 this version came out. The original one was '88. This is the only version that ever got an English release as well. There were six versions in total. The PC-88, the MSX, both Japanese only. There was a PC Engine, which was Japanese only, and then there was a Saturn and PlayStation, which were again Japanese only. This one for the Mega CD was in the middle of that, and was the only English release ever done. It's a game lots of people have asked for to get released. In some way, people have asked Konami to put it out on Virtual Console, but they've just turned around and said no. They don't seem to want to do anything with it. Kojima's even said he doesn't want to do anything with it either. So, but the only way you can play it is on emulator, and if you haven't got an original disc, and yeah, copies of that are going for ridiculous at the moment. I looked it up earlier today. I think some copies they're asking like £700-800 for a pristine copy, which is just insane, silly money. Yeah, what happened earlier? Yeah, we got to Junker HQ, got together all the equipment, found out about the starting of the investigation into the Snatchers taking over people and killing people and taking their place in society. And we got called out to an abandoned factory where we found the recently killed body of Jean-Jacques Gibson, who was their most successful junker so far. So now Gillian, first day on the job, and he's the only one left. Well, aside from the chief, the engineer, and the receptionist. So things are going well. So let's unpause things. There we go. Yeah, we literally just got back. Mika, the receptionist, was rather teary-eyed. I think she was good friends with Jean. Chief is sympathetic. But yeah, now everything's falling to Gillian, so the entire job of solving all of this is up to us. So yeah, let's actually, I don't recall if I ever used this option before, so let's see what happens. Investigative procedure. Based on the analysis of the hair strands he was grasping and the skin tissue found under his nails, reasonably certain that at least one male and one female snatcher were involved in killing him. Got to learn what he was up to. What was he after? What was he investigating when he was killed? Yeah, pretty obvious. And then I should start by checking out the detective's room and then his home. Yeah, makes sense. Let's just ask about Gibson. Must have learned something important about the Snatchers. But he didn't tell me a thing. Never said anything unless he was absolutely sure of himself. Fair. And his daughter Katrina. Katrina's the real victim in this. Let her know what happened, but it had to be a great shock to her. Right, so the boss's, her father's boss called her being an 18-year-old girl who is home alone, basically, to tell her that her father's now dead. That must be one heck of a phone call. Yeah, had to have been a great shock. Okay then. Right. Let us move on. Now, yeah, he said go to the detective's room, so let's have a look what we can find there. Proceed. Yep. How's the wound doing? Metal Gear already injected him with nanomachines. They will have him back to full strength in no time. Let's see. Hang in there, Seed. Go check out Gibson's room. Right, detective's room. Last time we saw this, Mika was in the way, so get to see the other chair. Right. Should investigate John's personal items. We must learn what he was doing before he was killed. Basic detective work, yes. Okay. Look at the near desk. This desk is an antique steel desk. It's the one that John was using. Probably should take a look inside, eh? Investigate the near desk. All-style working desk has drawers installed. Desk drawer. Maybe it's locked, cannot be opened. A key. Nobody uses keys anymore. Gonna get used to hearing that noise again. As I recall, Jean had a key. Yes, that's currently in my possession, so use key. Let's try the key. Something in the drawer. Capsules. And a disc. Let's look at the disc. It's a floppy disk from a personal computer, and that looks like a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk, which is the even older version. For any of the younger people watching, the save icon that most programs use is a little piece of art of the 3 1/2 inch floppy disks that were the last versions of them. That is a 5 1/4 inch disk, which was larger and had a smaller capacity, because they were an earlier version, and there were even earlier ones that were 8 inch in size. They wouldn't even being used when I was young, the 8 inch ones, because they'd been phased out with the smaller 5 1/4 inch discs, and then followed on with the 3 1/2. So yeah, so for something like that to be being used in the 2040s. Actually, let's investigate the disc. 5 inch floppy disk. Nobody uses those things anymore. This disk must have something to do with Jean's investigation. Alright, the story is evidence. Right, so what else did we find? Oh yeah, the capsule. Some kind of capsule medication.
What kind of medicine is this?
I'll perform an analysis. Acid inhibitors, membrane protecting agents, H2 blockers. This is medication for an ulcer.
Jeez, it looks like Jean's stomach was really in terrible shape. And what was he doing eating buffalo? It seems a little unusual. Perhaps there was some reason that he had to eat buffalo.
Okay, so recorded the chemical composition, so we can retrieve that later. Actually, one thing I've just realised, back in the day, when this game was out, I mean, I was in my teenage years at the time, I didn't get the whole thing of the stomach ulcer. I just thought it was just some random thing that people had. But now that I'm much older, I do know you can actually get stomach ulcers from stress. And Jean was under a lot of stress here, so I'm looking back at this now, and I'm now realising he had a stress ulcer, which kind of indicates just how much pressure this guy was under before he was killed. That's actually quite something for me now. So realising thing about a game I played like 25 years ago, little details I'd never noticed back then. Okay, right, what next? I think we found everything on the near desk. Let's investigate it again, see what we can see. There's only one drawer. Although most drawers of that design had, or desks of that design had 2 drawers, didn't they? Okay, right, let's have a look at the locker. The locker that John was using. Personal things were in there. Let's open up the locker. There's a coat hanging inside. Let's have a look at the coat. John's junk coat, probably a spare. Just like the coat that Gillian's got, but a little bigger. It's really worn out. Let's investigate it. Let's check the pockets. There's a chest piece. It's just a chest piece. What's special about a chest piece? Wooden chest piece? This could mean something. Hang on to it as evidence. And if I remember, that is the Queen piece. I'm sure it must mean something. Right. Nothing in the locker besides the coat. Nothing else in the coat. Right, I think that is everything there is to find. Investigate the door again. Already investigated the door. Right, okay then. Let us move on. Right. We haven't got anything we can go to the computer room with, because we need either names or some kind of fact-finding thing to go for. We've got nothing there. And in theory, in a setting like this, you could take the DNA analysis from the hair and skin samples, put them in the computer system, and find a match. You'd imagine in the 2040s they'd have that technology, but this game was made in the story was written in the mid-80s, so that kind of idea of investigation probably wasn't around. So, okay, let's go to engineering. Check on Harry. Oh, builder muck up there. Let's check on Harry. Close the door and the locker. Oh.
Well, so our junker has returned.
I register high alcohol levels. Harry is intoxicated.
I really thought you were better than that. Harry, what kind of backup was that supposed to be? If you were a better junker than that, Jean wouldn't have had to die out there.
Harry, that statement is incorrect.
Don't worry about it, Metal. Harry's right.
Jean... Sorry, it's not your fault.
Metal, would you give Harry the memory chip we pulled out of Little John?
Of course. Harry, this is Little John's memory chip.
He's been drinking heavily. Registered large concentrations of synthahol in the air. I thought synthahol was meant to be a synthetic material, chemical that had the flavour of alcohol, but none of the after effects. Then again, that's Star Trek. So this isn't the Star Trek universe. Let's do... Yep, we can look at it. 20th century brandy, it's Napoleon. The fact that's highlighted in red must mean something. Let's investigate the bottle. It is odd. I thought Harry only drank Japanese sake. Now, back when I played this all those years ago, I didn't actually know that that was pronounced sake. I read it as English, as sake. It wasn't until I played Shenmue on Dreamcast that I heard it being pronounced sake. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Brandy. There are numbers written on the label. And this is where having some notes is a good idea. You know, I'm going to actually keep notes here because I'm not going to remember these. So... Okay. I'm going to put that over that side of my screen so it's not in front of things. Yeah, just so I've actually got a record of it. There we go. So I'll need to save that as well for future reference. Okay then. Let's... Okay. Let's have a look at the poster. Who's this, some late 20th century pop star? I think we all know who that is. Young kids sound just stuck in the past. But your memories of your childhood tend to stay with you. She's a pop star from well before you were born, right? Yeah, there was a boom in the popularity of old stars when I was a kid. Right. Actually, let's have a look at that photo. Ah, yeah. Photograph of a boy. Picture of when he was a kid. Go back in. Not in the mood for chatting right now. Okay, right. So, you know what? Let's go to the computer room. I seem to recall there being something to do with Napoleon. Okay. Open ID file. That's the right spelling. Napoleon Bonaparte. The Little Corporal. Right. Famous line, the revolution has ended. Right. Okay. That's a lot more information than was in for any other character. Okay. Right. You know what, let's call that number. Use the video phone for the first time. Right, so I've got the number next to me now, so 39644.
Who the hell are you?
I'm an acquaintance of Gibson. I need some information.
You an investigator too, huh? Can't trust him. All right, let's have the password.
The password?
I didn't know he was Jean's informant. Guys like this always turn out to be informants. That's a bit of a racial stereotype, perhaps. Use a trick question on him. Right. What are you mumbling about? Let's have the password. The 100-day. Okay. Right, what was the spelling? I think that's it. 100-day reign. That's what was mentioned in that document. Okay, you seem pretty real to me. Meet me at Alton Plaza in the EXG district. I'll see you there. Okay. I don't recall that being quite so easy. Now what are we going to do? Okay. Right. I think I will save here, just in case. Alright, save done. Yep, carry on. Right then, what other rooms do we have? So we've been to Chief's office, Detective's room, and engineering. Not really any point going to the shooting range. So yeah, I think. Right, where have we got to go? We've got Alton Plaza. That's a new one we just got, and also got Gibson's house to go and see his daughter. Let's head to the front again. It's okay. Can't stay pressed over these things forever. Everyone seems to have heard about getting shot. Yeah, those nanomachines are really doing the trick. Glad to hear it. My heart is still in great pain. That's a weird line. Right, okay. Let's ask. Yeah, ask about Gibson. He was at the office almost constantly. Kept mumbling something about I've got these snatchers now or something like that. Found something useful in John's desk. Let's ask about Katrina. Feels so sorry for his daughter. She's all alone now. Right, yeah. There was a restaurant that served buffalo. Well, there must be a restaurant that served buffalo, or he was forced to eat buffalo in some way, which I find unlikely. Never heard of any places that serve that. Okay. Napoleon. That Chinese informant Jean was using. Okay. He's known him ever since he was a science cop. Okay. Yeah, lots of details here that I'm not actually remembering from the original game, so, give another time. Right, the evidence. Yeah, the only one we haven't found anything to do with is the scrap of paper. Are you going to buy a house? That's helpful. Okay then, right, let's heading out, check a few things, got a couple of leads. Bit right over John. Miss Mika? How are you and your wife doing? Haven't talked to her in a while. On video phone. Shouldn't leave her alone like that. Come to think of it, I have her number written down at home. Bet she's pretty lonely. Sure you're right. Be careful, Gillian. Right, okay. Board of the turbo cycle. Where do we want to go? Okay. I think it's probably best to go to the Alton Plaza first. See if we can get some information from his informant Napoleon. Head to Alton Plaza. Yeah, you can't skip that animation. Thankfully, it's nice and short. Okay. Oh god, I forgot about this music. Yeah, because this is set during the time of the lead up to Christmas, so... Oh god. This music. I apologise. I do apologise. Right, let's carry on with this. Alton Plaza. The place is well known as a rendezvous spot for couples. Is Napoleon here yet? Can't stand waiting unless it's for a woman. Right. Let's have a look at the area. Ooh. That's what I want to take the number down off. That Plato's Cavern. Let's note that down. Let's wait for it to cycle round. Oh god, and the Konami number 3 to 8. Right, let's get the number for Plato's Cavern just so I've got it written down. Well, there's so many little references in so many different parts of this. Cult Shop. Oh yeah, that is Plato's Cavern, isn't it? One cycle round. New Off-Earth, New Life. Oh, that's a reference to the Off-World stuff in Blade Runner. Okay, the whole city is decked out. Oh, here we go. 691170. Okay, I've got that noted. Right. Yeah, every single one of those little adverts is a reference of some kind. They're probably more relevant to Japan, especially Japan in the 80s. But, yeah, let's... The whole area is decked out in the Christmas mood. It's always like year-end. Enjoy the warm atmosphere of the season. You're quite the romantic, aren't you? investigate the area. Nothing unusual, the city looks quite peaceful. The neon signs. Some of the letters are burnt out on that great Neil sign over there. What does it say? Why don't you read it for yourself? Yeah. What other things are there? It's near Kobe I State. Or AI State. Well, the amount of things they crammed into the low resolution, these games. Okay. Investigate the neons. Neon signs in numerous languages. Looks like a sign factory. If you've seen Piccadilly Circus in London, actually New York, most of New York is like that, and also Las Vegas. And actually, yeah, that's actually quite a good accurate representation of Japan. It's been a few years since I've been there, but yeah, bright signs absolutely everywhere. Signs are so bright you can't even see the stars. Yeah, let's look for Napoleon. Don't see anyone around that might be Napoleon? Okay, keep looking at things. Advertising display. Adverts on the buildings. Put those ads on everything, nobody reads them. Oh, the guy who's on the phone is headed this way, is that him?
Well, so, you're the new junker, eh?
You Napoleon?
Well, let's keep this short, okay? The Snatcher sees me here, and I'll be the next one eliminated.
Paranoid, isn't he? Let's look at him. Called Napoleon, but he's clearly ethnic Chinese. Okay. Oh, he wants to see the junker badge. Okay. So yeah, the real thing, eh? With that little walking trash can with you, you can stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody's probably figured it out by now. Hey, watch it. So what do we want? Okay. Self-introduction, the new junker, Gillian Seed. Another one trying to hurry to his grave. Right, ask about Gibson. Something happened to him? Let's talk about Gibson. Gibson was killed by a Snatcher. Know anything about it? Gibson got killed. Says something about the Snatchers being after him. Well, of course they're after him. He's a junker. Did you notice anything unusual about Gibson lately? Who knows? Didn't hear from him for a while. Said he'd found something big about Snatchers, but he didn't tell me what it was. Ask about the buffalo cuisine. Gibson ate buffalo somewhere before he was killed. Any ideas? Follow his trail and use a little intuition. Any places that serve buffalo. Since that prohibition on shooting buffalo went into effect, almost nobody will touch it. I have a few ideas, but I'm not a charity. Not a charity. Okay. Yeah, take it. It's the only place near Kobe that serves buffalo. And there's a masquerade club called Outer Heaven, which is certainly a reference to something. Pretty sure they serve buffalo. Okay. Let's go about Outer Heaven. It's quite a famous hangout in that particular industry. Like a big masquerade party, customers have to wear masks or whatever, or they can't get in. That makes the place pretty popular with a lot of VIPs in a lot of high places. One of these days I'll tell you one called Napoleon. Okay. Right, don't think we can get anything more from him. Actually, it's... Ah, right. Ask the location. We need that. I'm doing this for fun, you know? Fine. Give him some money. Really got a nerve? You'll be a good junker one of these days. Right. That's a Heaven. Location. 17th Street, the HS District. Okay. Yep, send him gun. really helpful. See ya. There he goes. Right. Look for Napoleon. He just went home. Right. Okay, so we've got the location of Outer Heaven. So I think heading to Gibson's house might be an idea. Probably a good idea to go there before going to Outer Heaven. Okay. Right. Occasional audio issues. Right, Gibson's house. That's one heck of a house, especially for Japan. You don't see houses like that in Japan very often at all. Even out in the States, because space is just such a premium there. A house that big would be like considered a real waste of space. Let's have a look at the house. Rather nice looking early American type home. The window, there's lights coming on. So lights on inside. The area. Northern part of the suburbs. Quite a contrast between this and the southern districts. Investigate the house. There's a door. Well, the door at the front is the main entrance. There does not appear to be a doorbell. Let me try knocking. Okay. Training in there. That's it. Introduction. Pretty sure Chief would let her know. If you are, then show me some kind of proof. Proof. Okay. She wants to see badge. She's suspicious. Can't trust that. Tell me how old my father is. If you're a real junker, you'd know. I think he was 55. Yep. Yeah, that was in the Jordan database. I think there's one more question. Well, with 3 parts to it. Now, something about myself. Okay. What is it with all these questions? She knows as a junker you should have access to Alpha 1. You saw her data on Jordan. This is Kojima's writing, showing just how pervy he is. Because she has a heart-shaped birthmark on her inner thigh. Now, when you consider the age of the character in the original game, it's a good thing they changed it. Okay. Okay, birthmark. Okay, tell me what shape the birthmark is. Yep, it's heart-shaped. Yeah, the annoying thing is if you hadn't looked up the information and made a note of it, you'd have to go back to Junker HQ, look it up, make a note of it, and then come back and give the answers. Okay, finally, where is it? Well, that's pretty embarrassing, but at least you know we're the real thing. Right.
I'm very sorry about all of that. I'm Katrina Gibson, Sean's daughter.
I'm so sorry.
What's the matter, Mr. Seed?
I'm very sorry, Katrina. It's my fault your father's dead.
Gillian.
No, if I could have gotten there just a little sooner, your father might still be alive.
Oh, Mr. Seed, I appreciate your feelings, but I was always ready for the worst with my father. Every day as I watched him leave for work, will it be today, tomorrow? I knew it was a dangerous job.
Katrina, that's...
Well, I'm a junker's daughter.
Do you think you'll be alright by yourself?
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. Besides, I don't think I have any tears left.
Katrina, are you sure?
Okay, Junker, you've got work to do, right? Keep yourself busy. That's the best way to take your mind off of it.
Okay, Katrina, you're probably right. I'll appreciate any help you can give me on this investigation.
And the woman who actually did the voice of Katrina, Lynn Fusana, I mentioned at the beginning, she's a complete unknown. If you try doing like a Google search for her, Snatcher is the only thing that comes up. Nothing else appears. She's a complete mystery. I know that some people have been doing investigations to try and find all the original cast members of the original Resident Evil, and they've struggled to find some of them. They've lucked out in finding a couple of... I think they've found all but one. Yeah, but for this game, I don't know if there's any investigations been done. I might have to look into that. It could have just been some, the daughter of one of the people working at the office where they did the translation, or maybe the secretary. We don't know. Anyway, let's ask her about Gibson. Didn't really talk to him much lately. He's always so busy investigating stuff, cooped up in that study. Okay. Ask about... Just a spoiled brat, never cared about her parents. Oh, that's blunt. Ask about Outer Heaven. Have you heard of a place called Outer Heaven? Apparently it's the only place that sells buffalo. Buffalo in Dad's stomach. That's a bit brutal to tell her at that point. First I've ever heard of him going to a place like that. Must have had a good reason. Okay. Can't believe my dad used informers. A bit difficult to believe that someone wouldn't do something like that. Okay. Let's show her the piece of paper. That's Gibson's handwriting. He's always leaving memos all over the place. What about the disc? Whether she knows anything about that? Looks like the ones my dad always used on the old PC-68. Okay. Ask about the PC-68. Computer, there's one in the study. Okay. Let's head to the study then. Mind if I take a look at the study? Haven't touched a thing? Just the way it was before he died. Now, I don't actually know how much time is supposed to have passed at this point. From the way the game is played, it feels like it's like the same day. But it kind of gives an indication that some time has passed. It says it's just the way he left it before he died. It makes it sound like it's been days or something. It's one of the weird things about this game. Should be on the shelf. Why don't you take a look? Interesting, she says on the shelf. Actually, is that a chess table next to it? Let's show her the chess piece. Actually, no, let's do something. No, don't want to use any of those. That's that's going down Kojima's womanizing routes. Let's look at the computer. Model PC-68 Genesis. They have been manufactured for nearly 50 years. Amazing it still works. He's always using it. Some junk shop gave it to him and he fixed it up. Okay. Investigate the computer. There's a 5-inch disk drive. 5-inch, huh? That's just too easy to misinterpret. Well, that disk must be fit for this machine. Let's try to see it. Use the disk. So the house in the search, the house was referring to Gibson's house. And the exclamation point wasn't an exclamation point at all, it was the symbol for the 5-inch floppy disk. Actually, yeah, it is. In the middle of the disc is the bottom of the circles is actually where the spindle connects to the disc, and then there's a small hole to one side that I cannot remember what it was used for. But then there was the opening where the actual drive would read data off the disc. I'm only actually realising that now. I used to wonder what it meant by it being the symbol, but it's actually like the shape of the connectors in the drive. Oh yeah, now I remember. The smaller one to the side is actually for keeping the disc stable, I think. Actually, no, it's square, so that wouldn't matter. Anyway, the pattern matches the read-write holes on the disc. Even drew a little dot that represents the index hole. Oh, right, okay, I didn't remember that detail. You meant to put the disc in the PC. Seems a bit of a stretch from a message that says search the house to putting a disc in a computer, but I know John was worried about something that happened to him and he prepared the disc for such an emergency. Here it is.
Snatcher investigation file. Why do snatchers appear in the winter? Why are snatchers nocturnal? I believe I have found the answer to these questions. Snatchers' vampire-like behavior is due to their desire to avoid exposure to sunlight. The reason they dislike sunlight is because of their defective artificial skin. Long-term exposure to ultraviolet rays causes overproduction of melanocytes in the epidermis of their artificial skin, leading to a form of skin cancer with the characteristics of melanoma. In other words, what we call simple sunburn is fatal to them. This relationship between ultraviolet rays and their artificial skin should give us a way to track them down. It should take at least 6 more months before they can develop a form of skin which overcomes this defect. These conclusions suggest several useful methods for locating and identifying snatchers. 1. Investigate skin condition. Check for any evidence of melanoma. 2. Check for odor. Cancer cells secrete a unique foul odor. 3. The presence of pollen. Snatchers are believed to hide in areas plentiful in Snow 9, a snow-like bioengineered pollen crystal. As such, Snow 9 can always be detected in places they appear. Snow 9 is an allergen, causing throat pain and sneezing. 4. Possession of sunscreen. In order to protect their skin from ultraviolet rays, snatchers use sunscreen even in the dead of winter. This is due to sunscreen's ability to block ultraviolet rays. Of these techniques, 1 in 4 should prove particularly useful. In addition, besides working to prevent this skin cancer, snatchers maintain facilities for treating artificial skin which has actually become cancerous. I have succeeded in identifying the hospital where this is performed. P.S. Watch out for a bounty hunter named Random Hajil.
One thing I also think now, I didn't think it back then, but a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk would not have the capacity to be able to store an audio file that long. I mean, the text, yeah, plenty of space for text, but an audio file that long? Nah, there was nowhere near the capacity for that kind of file back on those discs. So he found their weak point, and no doubt he was killed because they learned that he had found their hospital. We need to find that hospital. Right, okay. Let's have a look around. There's a bottle and a photograph and a chessboard. Okay, let's look at the bottle. Here's full. New. investigate the bottle. Now analysing. Sunscreen. Standard type. There's a sticker on the bottle. This is probably where the place it was bought. It says the store with everything, Plato's Cavern. Found the telephone number for that place. This is the sunscreen that Gibson was talking about. Is it okay if we take this? She's okay with it. Right. Let's have a look at the photo. Photograph of Jean-Jacques. A closer look. Picture seems a few years old. Looks rather young. Okay, borrowing the picture of her father. There's also the chessboard. It's a chess set. Pieces are neatly arranged. We seem disappointed that she couldn't play. Investigate it. The black queen is missing. The black designer's set matches the piece we found in John's coat. That piece I've got definitely goes with this set. Evidence. Chess piece. Where'd you find it? It was the only one missing from the board. Suspicious that she doesn't ask for it back. Yeah? Right, let's do the decent thing and not try to interact with her too much. Right, okay, living room. Let's have a look around. Antiques everywhere. Right, I think that's all we can do here. So let's leave. Do you have to leave already? Will you be back again sometime? I'll be waiting for you. That's not...
Let me give you my address and video phone number. Give me a call if anything comes up.
Thanks again, Mr. Seed. Take care.
Right. So... got another reference to Plato's Cavern. We've got Outer Heaven as well. So, where should we go next? I think... oh no, we haven't got Plato's Cavern's location, so... Let's give the place a call. So, what was the number? 69170.
Thank you for calling Plato's Cavern, the store with everything. May I help you?
I'd forgotten how that sounded. What do you want me? No, that's because they're involved in the black market. Ask about the store. Everything available at the best prices everywhere. No ID required. And there's none of that dark atmosphere that you find in so many other black market shops. Why would you just say that to a rando that's called your number? Especially when your phone number is on a big billboard in a major part of the city. Something Kojima didn't think about when he wrote the story. Let's ask where it is. Where is Plato's Cavern? 5th Street in the Sanomiya K district. Everything in that area is part of the organisation. Nice. Yeah, that's about everything. Right. I think that's the next place I want to go to. Right, let's get back in the turbocycle. Where do we want to go? Plato's Cavern. Right. And Plato's Cavern has the Konami logo tilted 45 degrees. Oh, the silly things they did in this game. It's more like a small city than one store. Everything here appears to be part of Plato's Cavern. Okay. Look around nearby people. Our place is crawling with rather questionable types. Black market with billboards. They're pretty daring, yep. Close to black market shops, lining the streets like a commune. Let's go in the store. Footstep sounds we're going to hear over and over again in this game. Okay. That's the employee. Given the fact that most customers are keeping their faces concealed, it appears that they don't want to be seen. It's a black market. Somebody photographed them or something could get in trouble. Okay. Ask about Plato's Cavern. This is the place. So there's a place next door and the one next to that, and the whole area is under one management. Ah, so no monopoly then. Now let's ask about Buffalo Cuisine Restaurant, see if they have any other places. We've got some weird stuff in there, but we don't do buffalo. It's against international law. Right, okay. Ask about Outer Heaven. That's the place that supposedly does the buffalo. Where'd you get that? Well, you know some Outer Heaven is that really hot masquerade club. These full-face masquerades are sold under an exclusive arrangement with Outer Heaven. Okay. During the masquerade time, you have to have one on or you can't get in. Okay, I think we should buy happiness. Buy happiness. You can't buy that with money, you know. Okay. Okay, those are the masks, so let's have a look at them. An Egyptian mummy and an Easter Islander. Those are our pride and joy. Official. I'm afraid that's all that's left. Okay, let's see, can we buy the mask? Right. Which one do we want? Handmade by Rick Bakery himself, you know. I don't recognise the name Rick Bakery. Let's go with the mummy. 2,000 credits. Okay then. Ask about PC-88. Bottle. Yep. Not anymore. We had a few of those years ago, but they're long gone. All those weird collector guys bought them up. Okay. They do have quite a selection. Doesn't look like a particularly large shop from a modern perspective, does it? From cradles to graves, they sell everything here. Okay. Let's head out. Once again, come back soon. Okay. You know, I'm actually thinking, it's coming to 9:30, I had a bit of a day today. So I think I'm actually going to cut the stream a little short. I'm just going to quickly save. Because save states don't seem to be working properly. I might need to sort out folders or something. I'll do that outside of the stream. Okay, let's overwrite save data. Save complete. We want to continue. I'll leave it on for now and just hit pause. So yeah, the game will stay there for the moment. So I'll sort out save states once we're done here. Let's sort that. So let's see if there's anyone worth raiding. No one I follow is online at the moment. It's disappointing. Several weeks in a row now. I think I need to find some more people to follow then. Okay, I'm actually starting to get a bit tired now. Right. Well, thank you for dropping by. Hopefully, you've enjoyed watching this. I'll be back again to continue on from here next week, same sort of time, 7 p.m. GMT on Friday. I'm expecting this game to take about 5, maybe 6 streams to get through in total, so nowhere near as long as Dragon Age. I mean, that one took me from, oh, bloody hell, that was from November until last week. So that was a long one. Thanks, Tom. Um, yeah, hope you enjoyed this game because this is one a lot of people never get to see, considering how difficult it is to get hold of. And it's fun going back to it after all these years. So yeah, I will be finishing up now. Hopefully you will have a good week, and yes, I will see you again next time. Bye.